Radio stations were huge in the early 20th century, but as all history seems to go, something had to come and one-up it. The popularity of radio led to the development and launch of television stations in the late 1930s. Though the hit with television in America was and is undeniable, it didn't reach its golden age until the mid-1950s and early 1960s. Within television programs, there are categories, and genres within those categories. The four main types of television are narrative, non-narrative, children's shows, and non-commercial television. But today, we're going to talk about narrative and non-narrative. Narrative programs weave the TV program's story around the lives of fictional characters played by actors. The most television shows are narrative programs, with fan favorites like Pretty Little Liars, Friends, and That 70s Show. Non-narrative programs show actual events with real people and real stories that don't come from fictional scripts, like talk shows, reality shows, sports, and news. Some examples of this are programs like Ellen, Jeopardy, and the ultimate, Jersey Shore. Within these two television programs are genres. Some narrative program genres include anthologies, dramas, serials, and situation comedies. Anthologies were popular in the late 1940s and early 1950s. Live productions of Broadway dramas were adapted for television, often cast with young actors from radio and local theater, some of whom went on to become major stars like Robert Redford. You can have Reality Situation, Reality Family, Reality Crime and Medicine, Reality Dating, Reality Game, or Reality Home Improvement. These types of television shows follow real people and showcase real events. This category includes amazing shows like Cops, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and Storage Wars. Oh, Storage Wars. News and public affairs are informational programs that provide news to the public. This can be a local newscast, a broadcast network newscast, or a cable network newscast. Local newscasts typically feature local news and events happening in certain communities. Broadcast network newscasts specialize in national and international news, usually with primetime spots on television. And cable news networks are used for 24-hour international and national newscasting, in-depth analysis, and special news programs. Edward R. Murrow was a well-known journalist hosting shows like Hear It Now, which led into See It Now, the first nationwide televised news show. Finally, late-night talk shows. The most entertaining to me, late-night talk shows provide comedy and lighthearted banter and almost always have a celebrity guest appear to talk about whatever movie, show, song, or whatever else they have going on lately. These shows hold amazing hosts like Johnny Carson, Craig Ferguson, and my favorite, Jimmy Fallon. Well, that's all I got for you folks. Good night and good luck.
Created using Powtoon.